iCloud. Welcome to the Rise of the Goddess Collective podcast. I am your host, Michele Julian, your goddess guide. And today I am so clear and excited to share with you a whole new series called To Tell You the Truth. Yes, we are evolving. And what does a goddess do? She evolves, right? We're always evolving. It's our evolution, our realization of understanding that obstacles are merely lessons on the path to our awakening, our ascension, as Jessa and I have come to realize. Ascension requires discernment, clarity, and unapologetic vibrations of telling the truth and knowing who you can tell the truth to, right? Because we need to have self-preservation. Self-preservation is self-love, and the two are married. Self-love and self-preservation, and full circle, we came to this ascension and awareness right as the lunar eclipse moon arrived. And it was so huge, the energy of clarity, that we just started doing our chat that we always do in our realm of awareness and practicing contemplation and discernment. And how do I contribute to this conversation? Am I contributing to it, or am I contaminating it, right? We don't want to create more suffering. We're actually looking to create more light, more love, more understanding, more joy, more self-preservation, more self-love, all the things. So, the being and the becoming deck was birthed during the time that Jess and I were doing our own mastermind during the pandemic. And the evolution of that, I am so grateful for, because now I am in that next rebirth, ascension of sharing. I'm so excited. I will make the announcement later, before, not now, that I'm actually going to be inviting you to an opportunity that is going to serve you not only in your business, but in your life force, people. Life force. Yes, you need to keep your life force elevated and nurtured and all of the things. So let's just start with a little meditation, because Michelle, or MJ, whoever, Mimi, I'm a Mimi, I'm an MJ, I'm all the things, right? So we're gonna start in accomplished pose. We're gonna get our head on our shoulders. We're gonna drop our chin down. We're gonna bring the gaze down, and we're gonna take 2, 3, 4 deep breaths and exhale out. This gives you permission just to drop everything and then exhale. Another deep breath. Exhale. Hold that breath for 2 counts. And exhale. And your hands are now together into your heart, because you can be discerning. You have this ability for self-preservation and self-love. And your truth will be told. and you will be discerning, and you will be able to drop your shit, all of it, not hold on to it. As we breathe into that, let's bring the hands up to the head. And when you watch this on YouTube, you can do this technique. This is a Reiki technique. And then hands over the eyes, and you're breathing the whole time. And then over the ears, and then over the throat, and then down into the heart, and then down into the rib cage, and then down into the lower abdomen, and then back, the sacral chakra, hands cross over onto the back, and then your hands come together, and you wish, and you wish, and you wish, and you go brrrr, ta, 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 ta. Light energy. Ta-da. All right. I know that we have a short time limit because life is full.
It is.
So, Jessa Grace, thank you for coming and taking the time out of your very full life, as we all know. And when you have a full life, you need to be discerning about the time you spend and how you spend it, right? And so, as the creator of the My Heartfelt AI, I would love for you to share your own self-preservation story in the way you understand self-love for yourself, because we are here to tell the truth. This is your truth. This is not my truth. This is your truth, right? That's the whole point of having this series, is that this is to serve you and your self-preservation.
Exactly. And I have to say, it's genius for you to combine preservation with honesty and integrity. Because so many people think self-preservation is, I don't know where your ball is. Sorry. Lindsay lost his ball.
You'll find it, win-win.
So having self-preservation, preservation of any sort, married with integrity, gives you permission to do a lot more than a lot of people think he's making. And this is a perfect example of how I have done it. No, you can't have my computer. Wait, we'll edit that out. Let me go find his darn ball.
Yeah.
Right there.
Can you give him his bottle?
He's full. He just ate. Right there, go get it. Okay.
Okay. Oh, that was so sweet. He's so sweet and gentle. Okay, mommy. And he says, please now, and thank you.
There you go.
It's not even something that you really had to work hard for him to do.
No, just modeled it, and his big brothers did too. A piece? A piece.
That's because when you have understood how to self-regulate yourself, you actually can teach your child that in your way, so he can then model that as well, right? Because if you're not self-regulated and you're all upset, he's going to model that, right? So this is what I love about being an entrepreneur and being a mother. And we all know we are birthing and rebirthing over and over and over again. And
really, staying in that integrity is the only way to do it without burning out. Because when you have personal integrity, your yeses and your nos mean something. I can think of it. I mean, you know me better than anyone. Do I have a maybe? I don't think I have.
Occasionally, I think you might have a maybe, but it's more like an and maybe.
Yeah, it's more like, let me see if it fits in my schedule, maybe, rather than maybe I'll put up with that. Maybe I won't. We'll see.
Yeah, that's, I think, the biggest thing for me in witnessing you is that you take even though you move very, very fast in a lot of things that you do with, your business and even with, your personal life because you have 3 kids, because you can't really move slow. Um, what I observe is that you take time to make your decision. You do not just make the decision. You go, you know what? I'm going to think about that. I'm going to sleep on it. I'm going to meditate on it. I'm going to do my dream state vision board thingy on it, my flow cards, my whatevers.
Yes, I
You
have a
just
problem.
you don't just act. You actually contemplate, even though most people would think that you don't actually contemplate because you move so fast, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Secret behind making decisive action in your life is spending more time deciding and less time doing. So I spend more time thinking about it, but the fact that I think about it so completely and with all of my parts, those of us who've done parts therapy, you get it. I think and I feel with, and I decide with all of my parts, what does the little girl inside of me need from this option or opportunity? What does Winston need with this option or opportunity? And I spend the time and I take the time and I do that. Granted, I've been doing it for years and years now, so it takes me maybe a minute and a half now. But there was a time in my life where making a decision would take me a half a day. And that's okay. Take the time to make sure that your yeses are real for you.
Mhm.
Make sure you're not being gaslit into making this decision. Make sure that you're not making this decision just so that somebody doesn't get angry at you. Really find that place within yourself where you don't give a shit whether you upset someone or not. I don't care if it's the closest person in your life. I mean, I've made decisions that I know you, as my closest friend, Michele, probably were not happy with, but it was right for me. And I was like, she's going to be upset. We'll work through it. We'll talk about it. We'll get on the other side of it. It's going to be okay. And that
Yes.
you have to decide first before making any decisions in your life. You have to decide how you're going to make your decisions. What are your deciding factors? And they're different for everyone else. Where's your
Yes. It's that inner knowing, right? So it's always about the inner knowing and that being practicing, right? And in order to become this self-preserved person, you need to practice the being of it, just like you were talking about your manifestation hacks, right? If you're not acting and being as if you know how to self-preserve, then you're not going to actually receive self-preservation.
Exactly. You have to be in the state. It's being protective isn't real. I mean, if you have children, being protective of them, that's not a verb. It's a state of being. It's an energy where those of us who are mothers, we've got eyes in the back of our heads. We've got our mom ears on even when we're sleeping. That's a state of being. And we go there because we want to, because it serves us, because we care about our children. Really, all we want in life is love and to take care of the people that we love. Are there really bigger needs than that?
No.
And so that's where you have to come from the decision of, is this coming from love? And if this decision is a no for me, even though it's going to upset someone else, is it still coming from love? If it's still coming from love, then you go and you do it. You have a responsibility to take
Mhm.
care, to preserve yourself above other people. And that's one of the weird things about this human experience is that every other creature on this planet, self-preservation is just kind of built in. But for us, it gets programmed out of us through our childhood, through traumas, through our, parents, and, through just the human conditioning. And
Mhm.
that's why even with all of my manifestation little hacks and tricks that I have, every single one of them is based on unconditioning any of that conditioning that might still be lingering there. And
Mhm.
so we want to make sure that when we are being protective of ourselves, that
Mhm.
we are acknowledging that we are worth protecting. And a lot of us don't have that sense of innate value and worth. And
Mhm.
say it was tough for me. It was a journey. It was the hardest, darkest night of the ego and soul that I'd ever been through when I would say it was about 6, 7 years ago now. You were there when I was like really going and finding my value and my worth and that power in there. And once you find it, you're going to protect it. If you have it, listeners, how you're just naturally going to protect it like you would with a child.
Yes.
Really,
Absolutely.
really important. So the idea here is to first and foremost, decide you're worth it. And then second of all, really find how you are going to create that litmus test for yourself. How are you going to test your yeses and your nos? Really test it. Is it good for me? Is it good for the person? And how am I going to feel into this? And that's a really tough one. And those of you who've been following me know that I've made some wrong yeses and wrong nos in my journey. We all do, but you learn from them and you move faster the next time. So that's how my pace became what it was. Is I learned and then I practiced it, and then it came back up around again. You know how we have our cycles until we learn the lesson. It's going to keep coming back and coming back and coming back. And so the faster you go through it again, so you're dating the wrong guy and these are the red flags, and then you're dating another guy, the same red flags, boop, nope, out, done, no questions. I don't want to have a conversation around it. It's no, it's a no. It's a freaking no. The next time around, you move much faster with your yeses and your nos, because these things happen. Life happens. That's the point of life, is for shit to happen. But we decide what shit is for us and what shit is not. And that brings me to the idea of, is this my shit? Or do I need to put it down? Do I need to put this down? And when I say shit, I mean drama, I mean anxiety, I mean fear, I mean stress, I mean sleepless nights. If I'm losing sleep over something, it better be mine and not someone else's. So for me, the things that I don't take on, the shit that I put down, are other people's shit. First and foremost, top of the list, put other people's shit down, other people's opinions, other people's suggestions, other people's perspectives on you, other people's view of how you should be doing your thing. Can I tell you how many people come and tell me exactly how I need to run my business? Exactly what I need to do. I have $1 million consultants, a group of them, telling me what I should do with my business. And a lot of their ideas are amazing, amazing. Uh-oh, pause that. We just
Oh dear. Pausing.
okay. What do you I was getting.
All
And so
right.
when it comes to really deciding, is this mine or can I put it down? Should I have never picked it up in the first place? You really want to make sure that the energy with which it's coming from is growth. You always, like as a mother, growth mindset is where I don't know what he's doing over there. Are you okay? Sorry.
How old is Win?
He will be 2 next month.
Okay. So he's walking, he's doing his pleases and thank yous,
Yes, he is.
and he's in that what they call potential terrible twos, but I don't even see him being terrible.
Either. And the thing is, that's a perfect example. I will say, let's not edit this piece out with Win throwing his fit right there, because it's all about perspective. And that's what I was just saying. Really, is this for me? And is this from a growth mindset? Yeah, this is tough. I have a 2-year-old. I'm a single mother. I chose this for myself. Trust me, it's better than the alternative. And so it's really important. Is this for me? Is this the truth? And what energy is this coming from? And that's where I curse like a sailor. I do, not in front of my children. Often, anyways. But I have the big F word, and it is fix. Don't ever say that word in front of me. Don't ever tell me, how do I fix this? Don't come to me as a client and say, Jessa, I need to fix this. No, don't say that. And if you let someone come to you and tell you that they can fix you, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was broken. Really. And if I am, it's not your business. I have a whole junk drawer with staples, duct tape. I got this. If I need help, it's not to fix something, it's to make something stronger. It's to accentuate something. It's to amplify something or catalyze something. It's not to fix anything. You are not a broken individual. We are all doing this all at the same time in real time. So nobody on this planet has done this day.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody on this planet knows exactly what to do at this day, in this moment, in this time, in these conditions. Nobody. Nobody knows more than you do on how to do you. Nobody. Yes, there are people who will come and give you guidance and wisdom. These things are great. They're not going to fix you, though. It's just ideas. It's all stuff here in the head. You
Nope.
want to make sure that vibrationally you're in a place where you're not broken, because broken is a vibration that can't be fixed anyways.
Exactly.
Fix that. So we want to make sure that when we are talking about self-preservation, thank you, babe, self-preservation as a spiritual tool, as a spiritual necessity, when we're preserving ourselves, it's not just because I need protecting, oh, little, oh, no, you're a goddess. You're the queen of everything, and you know it. And I want everybody to.
Everything sign is up there. Wait a minute. Let's see. Let's see if I can get that.
There it is.
Here it is, the queen of everything. There's a whole story all around that, but keep going.
So, yeah, I love that sign. I need to make my own. So, when it comes to the idea of self-preservation, it's not against anything. You're not hiding from things. You're not putting up boundaries so that nobody can touch you. This is more about you saying, this is how much faster in my life I want to move. And for me, my self-preservation tactics help me move so fast and so decisively that it's insane. It's like the last year of my life, you've witnessed it. What the actual F and not fix F, the other one.
Right. Yeah, it's ascending and transmuting. This is what is happening. Really, I feel it. I've felt it for even since like the beginning of February. I could feel something shifting within my own understanding of my own evolution, and then knowing that I didn't need to know how it was going to actually transpire. I just needed to allow. That's the key component of self awareness, is allowing to receive the wisdom that you know for yourself, for your own self-preservation and self-love. And so it sounds like that's what you have been doing for the past, I would say, I think it's really been the last 2.5 years. Really, I don't think it's the last year. I think it's like the 2.5 years of the process of, oh my God, I am going to drop this shit. I don't need it. It doesn't help me, right? So, what did I say in the beginning of the podcast? How are you contributing to the situation versus contaminating it? Let's talk about that, break that down.
I love that analogy because it can be hard to discern if we don't have that self-awareness. It really, like, if you don't sit quietly with yourself for at least a couple minutes a day, I mean, you don't have to make it, you know, to become a Buddhist monk or something. Sit quietly with yourself and become aware. Become aware of you, of yourself, of your body, of your vibration. Sit with your body and be aware. How many of us walk through our entire day and don't think about our body once, unless it's like, oh, I got to do my hair, whatever. But really, the vibration that runs through your body like a river. How often do you do that? If you don't do that, you're not listening. It's not going to talk anymore. It's going to be like, I'm not going to talk anymore then. Fine then. So it comes from that self-awareness and really having a practice of it. So for example, when it comes to awareness, there's those professions where they get paid a good amount of money just to be aware. Lawyers, doctors, these kinds of people, politicians, even though we won't go into that, but these are people who are paid to be aware, and they do it really, really well. So think of yourself as an expert in you, a CEO of you, and really say, this is my job, is to be aware of what's going on around here and delegate where I need to delegate, get support where I need to get support, hire someone over here to make that happen, change the calendar around and send out an email. Where's my GPS report? Whatever you need to do, you are the CEO of you, and your only job is to just be aware. And people think about, oh, I need to climb the corporate ladder so I can get a nice cushy CEO job because that's the easiest job. All they got to do is pay attention. Yes, that is right. And that's why they get paid the most money, is because they're really good at being aware.
Mm-hmm.
Being in awareness is the first step to really self-preservation. Because if you don't know what you're protecting,
Mm-hmm.
you can protect it without just throwing things out there. Be like, oh, well, everybody else says I need to wear a life jacket, so I'm going to wear a life jacket. Okay, that makes sense. But then, oh, everybody else is doing LSD. I guess I should do LSD. No, no, that's not how it goes. You don't want to be the kind of person who chooses and makes decisions based on the culture, because you have your own internal corporate culture going on and you are the CEO.
Correct. And,
Wow.
and with that being said, I want to just kind of come back to the whole component of, once you understand self-preservation, self-love, and your own truth, you get to decide, and I want you to kind of explain, kind of get more detailed about this thought pattern, is once you decide this is your truth, you get to decide who you're going to share your truth with. Because we know from past experiences, many past experiences in many lifetimes, even before this lifetime, that people can throw you underneath a bus, gaslight you, turn it right around, right at you. And so when we're telling the truth, we need to decide and discern, is this the right audience, person, situation that I will share this particular truth with?
Yeah.
So expand on that. That's really important component of the tell the truth.
Two very big pieces to that one. So I have two different ways of going about it, I guess. The first one is, yes, you have to be discerning as to who you're going to share your truth with. And when I say your truth, let's really define your truth.
Okay.
And it's not your story or how things happen or where you're coming from. It's your deciding factors. I decide this and I decide this and I won't take this and I will accept that. And this is what I'm looking for. That's the truth. So let's say it's a dating situation, right? Because that's always fun and everybody can relate because dating sucks. So for example, if you are on a date and you want to share your truth with the person, maybe share your favorite food and color, but don't say this is what I'm looking for in a relationship. Don't, maybe later on you're clicking and okay, this is what I'm looking for, but don't spill the beans. Don't make it so easy for them to pretend and gaslight you and make them that they will literally put on the show. And it's not just with dating, it's with clients. You've seen some of the situations I've had with clients that pretended to be perfect fits because I said, this is what I represent. This is the kind of person I serve. This is how I do it. These are the actual objectives and if this isn't for you, then that's fine. Totally fine. And then they pretend to be exactly what I'm looking for in a client.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3 months later, it's like, wait, what just happened?
They're starting to burn their house down, basically, because they have no understanding of what their own truth was. And they figured, oh, this sounds good. And, and if it doesn't work out, it will be fixed, because this is the fixed mentality. It's not the other mentality of the growth mindset and the awareness mindset of like, how do I clean up my side of my emotional reactions to things? And is this really, in this present moment, helping me get to where I want to go with my life force and my business? How am I behaving in this relationship? So always having that self-reflection is the key component. And I think that is one of the key things that is missing in the online space, because people are so confused and being bombarded with this fast action bonus, 10K, 20K, do this digital program. It's going to save your life. You don't want to coach anymore. Fantastic. Do an MLM instead, whatever. Okay, fantastic. And how is that really helping other people? Because that's really what we're all about, helping other people that help people and being self-preserving and self-loving ourselves.
And so don't put it all out there. I have clients who are like, I'm not comfortable putting my pricing on my website. And I'm like, don't, don't. Really putting it all out there in a way where you feel like you're being vulnerable, but really you're just being naked, the emperor's new clothes, kind of naked. Like, look at how grand I am, and look how high my standards are, and la 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 la. It might feel good to say it out loud, but people are watching and they are going to use it, whether they're doing it intentionally to manipulate you or not. They will use it, because those of us who are of a higher vibration, we imprint without knowing that we're doing it. We imprint our expectations, our vibrations onto that other person, whether they match those standards or not. So back to like the dating thing. If I was to go to it on a date and say exactly what my expectations are, this is exactly what I'm looking for, I'll be imprinting onto this person. And he'll be like, the idea of being that person sounds really great to me. I would love to be that person. And so for a little while, he'll try to be that person, not even intentionally. It's not even a surface level thought. It's just the expectation. And then it's not sustainable because it's not his truth.
Mm-hmm.
And so everything collapses and falls apart. So it's the same thing with clients. Don't go into a situation. Don't put it on your website. My ideal client is XYZ. Yeah, you need to know it. Yes, use heartfelt AI and find out who your ideal client is, but you don't need to broadcast it. Broadcasting, number one, comes across as a little bit desperate. And number two, very, very dangerous. They either are or they are not. You knowing it is one thing. Them knowing it, a whole nother thing. A whole nother thing. And if they're not that, then they're going to ask you to fix them. Ugh, don't have energy for that either. So whether it's a friendship, a business relationship, a collaboration, a potential client, whatever it is, do not broadcast your expectations. Your truth is your truth. Don't make it theirs. And if they don't match it and if it doesn't fit, move on. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your efforts.
Absolutely.
Your truth is your truth. And so this is where it comes back around again to dropping other people's truths, where I call it dropping other people's shit. Because I've had people come at me because I don't meet their expectations. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. People have come to me and said, Jessa, get your shit together. Very recently. And I listened and I said, thank you. And I didn't change a damn thing. I was like, that's their shit. That's their expectations. I'm not going to work with you unless you get your shit together. And I'm like, okay.
Great. Awesome. That's good to know. It's like that was actually,
thanks.
so that was actually good for you to know, because that is not the kind of person that you want to work with, because they're looking for that fixing energy.
I'm not here for that. And also, if somebody thinks that they have that much power in my life and in my world, that I'm going to sit and just drop everything else that I've got going on to fix myself so that I fit their needs. And then maybe they'll like me. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. You never know. You never know. If it's not that, this is another thing we just have to talk about. If it's not that, if it's not you getting your shit together, or kind of fixing yourself somehow to shape and mold it so that person feels all comfy, it's also another thing that can happen. And I've said this to many times before. It's so important for us as coaches to have the clarity of what we do as a coach, right? It's all about you having that understanding of your own self-love and your own self-preservation, understanding your part system, working with it, integrating, because we have no bad parts. And we also honor the parts that we have struggles with, because that's called compassion. And that's also called, no shaming. Like there's no shaming here in the goddess collective. We don't do shame. That was the whole birthing of Rise of the Goddess, was there is no shame, there is no competition, there is only a difference of their truth and their opinion. That is the truth. And there's always this thing in the background deciding why that person is actually asking these questions or saying these things, and being like discerning as they're saying it, and be like, and then watching and observing to see if their truth is real, because we all know people change their minds.
Often it's
And then on top of that, they decide, you know what? I don't really like the way this website or this way that the business is looking. I think I want to change the color to green. And then after I go from green, I want it to be kind of like a brown green, right? And so there's always this tweaking. It's actually part of the process. And it's not like that's not good and you shouldn't do that. It's just that you need to have the clarity first before you actually work with somebody that starts designing your beautiful landing page. Because if you're not really getting clear and you're constantly in this like, I think I could change it and maybe do this, do that. Well, I liked that one, but then I saw this other person do this. You need to have clarity before you work with your coach. It's so essential.
You need to have decisiveness. Deciding to start a business, that's one thing, but you need to have a decisive nature in order to run a business, grow a business, scale a business. You have to have decisive nature, and it can be good enough. It's good enough. And just go and make the money. Just go make the money. Don't worry about the colors. Make money.
Right. And the thing is we all know, like I said in the beginning, evolution. We are changing minute by minute, second by second. So if we're changing minute by minute and second by second, does it really matter in the scheme of things? Really, I've learned this since the pandemic. Does it really matter that my landing page says XYZ now, but now I'm not XYZ? No, because it's the energetic of who I am is what people are attracted to. They're not attracted to my website. They're attracted to me, my energetic field, right? Plain and simple. People buy and be with people because they want to be with them. Not because they have a brown website, not because they have a maroon website, okay? I know those are things that, you guys talk about in the web world, and I also know there's partially some truth to it, but it's not the deciding factor of why people sign up.
That you really struck on a huge point. Really bringing it all. I know how you do this. Bringing it all together and bringing it home. If we reverse engineer the reason why self-preservation and dropping shit instead of taking on more shit is so important, is because the number one deciding factor in your success, if you are an entrepreneur, the number one deciding factor is how much and how fast you change and grow. If you don't change and grow, you're not going to grow. You're not going to become wealthy by being exactly what you are here right now. Right here, right now is exactly what you're going to have tomorrow if it doesn't change and grow. The faster you change, the faster you grow, the better you're going to do. And not every iteration is going to be perfect. Not every iteration is going to be effective, but you have to get through those to get to the one that's going to work. How many iterations did I do with Heartfelt AI? I think we're in like the 6th or 7th iteration.
Right.
When I was like, oh my God, I did it. It's beautiful. I did it. Based on what I've done and grown, how fast, it hasn't even been a year and we're already fielding investors.
Right.
I went from a cute idea that you texted me because you were annoyed at something to investors, like $1 million. What the? I did that because I failed and I grew and I failed and I grew and I failed and I grew and I have no fear. And the reason that I have no fear is because I have so much self-preservation built in to me and my being and my deciding factors. And my deciding factors help me discern, is that person's opinion worth my time, or is it some shit I need to drop?
Exactly.
Anytime.
Exactly.
So
Full circle. You did that. You did a great job. You did a great job full circling that. And I want to make sure that everyone listens to this podcast and not make it too long, because we all know people have very short periods of time to listen to things. But, listen to this while you're like cleaning or
I
driving in the
gotta go do
car.
the dishes, so I should probably put it back on again. It's so important to understand that self-preservation is part of being powerful, just being unfucking touchable.
Mhm.
You don't need fixing, you need preserving. We'll fix that in post.
You need preserving.
You don't need fixing, you need preserving. That's it.
Yes. And let's talk about how you have not only created my heartfelt AI during a time where a lot of people were just like freaking out about the AI. They were freaking out in a way that I was like, why? I mean, it's chat GPT, like it's free, like relax, just play with it, people. I mean, it's a robot, okay? It's not even a person. It's like they're not gonna, I don't know. Anyway, I didn't see the fear. I didn't attach to it. I was like, I didn't like the way it actually was working. And then that's why I approached you and said, hey, Jessa, I don't like these AIs, and I know that you have that capacity, that ability to create something that would be so much more heart centered and heartfelt, right? That it would be so nice for you to just press your buttons like you do, because that's what you do. You press buttons and you just go, look at this, look at that, look at that, look at when did you do that? Oh, I just got up at 4. I don't know. I woke up and I had an idea. I don't know. I just did it. Right. And so basically you did that, and then you started sharing it to me. And I was like on vacation with my husband and his family in, I think it was Canada at the time. This was like last summer when we went to Canada. Remember, I went to Canada and I did the rock climbing. I had broken my wrist. I was freaking out. Part of me was freaking out a little bit. But then, of course, I had that self-preservation, had the self-talk, and like, no, you don't need to freak out, because, you have the capacity to actually do your business without actually physically helping people, right? I have a whole nother part of how I do the Julian method. And so I just kind of like relaxed into my like healing and really took care of myself. And then you were doing this whole like, kind of like playing with like all the different things that you play with in your world that you play with. And so you then created this beautiful, my heartfelt AI, but that didn't happen last summer. I mean, you just came up with, this 1.0 version of what we have now. I think it's 7.0 or 6.0. I can't remember. But basically, it's like, oh, okay, now that you have created this thing, you see how it actually can serve yourself for your own self-preservation, your self-love, and you just want everyone else to have that too. And, that's really what it's all about. It's about helping people that help people that are in that awareness, because not everyone, we can't work with everyone unless they're in their own self-awareness. They're working on their parts. They're doing their stomach crunches. The uniform has to get dirty in order for us to really kind of have them come into our community, because that's what we're going to be talking about, how we're going to do an invitation of people being able to be part of this community, because that's what it is. It's going to be a community. It's not just a tool. It's a community where we actually really, really, really help each other. We don't talk about it, we actually do it.
Do, and that is something that I appreciate about both of our communities, is that we don't just talk about it and we don't charge a gazillion dollars for it either.
Mhm.
So the things that you and I do, absolutely free. You got a
Mhm.
question, there's an answer. Yes, I have an answer for that. And no, I'm not going to charge you for it.
Mhm.
Let's go do, be, have, create, and grow. And let's do it as fast as freaking possible, because that is the only way to do it. You have to be not smarter, not richer, not stronger, not better than your competition. You have to be faster. In this
Mhm.
world, you have to grow and you have to change faster than everyone else.
Exactly. And that's why we are so excited, and we are going to make kind of like the pre-announcement. We're not going to give you the details today because we always love to make sure that we have the clarity first. And with that clarity, we want to make sure that you understand what exactly we are actually inviting you to. But the name of this amazing community opportunity is called Empathy's Edge, your opportunity, stacking your ecosystem. And I want you to elaborate on that, Jessa.
There's a lot in this. It's a very long name. It's the longest name I've ever had for a program. So, empathy's edge, let's start there. This is really a different approach to empathy. Yes, empathy, we're sitting in our hearts and we're in our heart center, and we're operating from that place of I'm putting myself in your shoes and I'm feeling what you're feeling, and I have solutions and connections and all of the things. Yes, that's empathy. But so many people see it as a soft, very delicate, very feminine, very vulnerable thing. Empathy is not that. Empathy is a powerhouse. Empathy is like the Takana sword. You have it and you wield it right, you are unstoppable. You are unstoppable. This is not a weapon, this is a tool. And empathy done right, done in a way that is so empowering every step of the way, every little word, every little vibration, every little movement that you make done right with empathy means that you are light years ahead of everyone else. Light years ahead. Anything that comes to you, you've already processed before it even happens. You are so there, you're so on edge, you're so right, in the right place at the right time every time, with the right mindset every time, that nothing's going to collapse you. Those of you who've been watching me the last 2-3 years, all the things, all the bad decisions and the people's shit that I should have put down that I didn't do, I still did not collapse. I've only accelerated. I'm going to be a millionaire by the end of next year, easily.
Right.
Easily.
Yes. And that is a perfect example of ascension and transmuting.
Exactly. So we really need to alchemize everything. And empathy is the base of that. Empathy is not a super soft, sweet, great, wonderful characteristic to have in your person. It is a tool. And it is, you give yourself that edge. Give yourself that edge by doing it from a place from the heart. And it is not soft and lovely and cushy. It is powerful. It
Correct.
is so powerful. And it has been misconstrued to be this very soft and lovely thing that, oh, only the women can afford to have it because it's just not safe for them. No, put that down, put that shit down. First of all, it is a powerful tool, powerful tool. So that's the basis of this program. And then also the opportunity stacking. So we've all heard of like habit stacking, that kind of thing, where you take a habit and then you put another habit on top of it and another habit on top of it. That's exhausting. I tried it. Don't recommend it. Don't recommend it.
You don't want to have 9 habits on top of each other. You're supposed
But
to just pick one, Jessa,
yeah,
FYI.
exactly. But opportunity stacking, however, creates flow, creates momentum. So if you're taking an opportunity to say, I'm going to learn about empathy and how to use it as a really strong tool for my business, I'm going to put my business together, because in this 2-week program, you're going to build your business. You're going to go from, I don't know what you have, is it nothing, to here's your business, here's your website, your funnels, your email campaigns, everything. Here it is in 2 weeks. It would normally take someone 6 months. You're going to do it in 2 weeks. It's been done over and over and over. It's a guarantee. Or if you've already got a business, you're going to be completely revamped and it's going to make sense and it's going to finally start clicking and those wheels are going to start turning and you're going to see your CRM growing and you're going to see your Stripe or your PayPal, whatever payment processor you have, going, whoa, what just happened? You're going to see people coming and asking if they can give you money. Can I invest in your business? You're going to see these things. This is going to happen. But that's one opportunity. But what we want to do is stack that opportunity on top of something else so that you catalyze it. So it's not just a flash in the pan experience for you. We want to find other opportunities for you to catalyze with this. So you've got a brand new, flashy, amazing, finally working business. What other opportunities do we want to look for? Do we want exposure opportunities? Do we want to be on stages? Do we want to be interviewed? What do we want? How can we do it? How can we collaborate? How many other programs can we make now that we know that it takes us about an hour and a half to make anything? With Heartfelt AI, you can go from, that's a cool idea, to done in 9 minutes, done, completely done for $100 a month, done. It is done. So I really want everybody to understand that this is not just about learning a new skill. This is about building something and then making sure that you have the support and the integrity to go, do, be, have, make, and change as fast as possible. Keep changing, keep growing, keep changing, keep growing. And it doesn't have to be exhausting because I have 3 kids and I'm working at this pace and I still take naps. I'm going on a retreat with you this weekend.
Exactly, because that is part of the self-preservation, the self-love tools to always be practicing. And so I am so happy and excited that we did this podcast. I'm so happy that we finally had the time to do it because life got really full this summer. I was away in Europe and I had my aha moments, and there's going to be so many podcasts coming for the next couple of weeks that I'm going to be sharing some amazing things that happened not only for me, but for other people, right? So when you do this experience where you're evolving and you're opening yourself up to having things work out the way that your self-love needs and your self-preservation needs. And what happens is your throat chakra starts to relax and open up more. So then you're able to actually really share your truth. And when we do this, when we share our truth, it helps us help others share their truth, because that's all about permission, right? We need permission to share our truth, and we all want really one thing, and that is to be loved. Actually, it's 2 things: to be loved, to be seen, and to be heard. That is what it is. That's what I had a total awareness on my journey, and I can't wait to share my memoir with you guys. And it's happening at light speed because of the beautiful My Heartfelt AI rewriting tool that I'm using. As I'm writing, I'm using the tool, and then I take it and look at it and I say, okay, that was juicy, I want to add more, and I go back and rewrite it again and again, because we all know writing is rewriting over and over again. Not because you want perfection, because you want to transmute this energy, this awareness, this moment right now is this moment, and it is non-permanent. So to really catch the moment of your evolution is virtually impossible to do. And what's exciting is understanding that and still writing your memoir. Who cares if, I'm talking about 20 years ago, because 20 years ago has already happened. Yeah, that's true. And it's part of who I am. And it's a part of who you are. Your stories, your truth are all here now. They're in the now moment. And yeah, they're in the past moment. So we put it all together in this cauldron, in this beautiful boot camp. And think about it. Wouldn't that be so cool if you, after 2 weeks, have your book written? I mean, yeah, you could actually do that.
It'd be
If you
done.
Yeah, there's no reason why you couldn't, because you just need a little organization, you need clarity, you need a core message, and heartfelt AI can help you like actually actualize that, right? So because that's the crux of people starting, is the overwhelm of how am I going to do all this, right? And they have it all in their head, part of it's in their body too, and it's up here and it's down here. But when we come down and ground ourselves in meditation, in self awareness, in self preservation, in self love, we actualize together. So let's go. Let's go. I'm ready. I can't wait. I wish we were at the end of the month already. So,
No, we're starting September 30th. So let's get in.
yes.
So for the people who are already part of Heartfelt AI, this is free.
Oh,
Absolutely
that's
free.
right. That's right. You're doing that. Oh, so good. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jessa, for coming here on the podcast of the series to tell the truth. And I am just so honored to be part of this amazing, amazing community. And I'm so blessed that you are in my world. And I love you, Win. Mwah. And you have a glorious, glorious day. You're the cutest boy on earth. I love you. Mwah. Bye for now.